On the streets of Tel Aviv, protesters block traffic, demanding the government do more to secure the release of hostages.
The government of Israel is the one responsible, not any other government.
But a deal has never seemed further out of reach, with Benjamin Netanyahu definitively telling the US he will not accept the creation of a Palestinian state.
Israel needs security control over all territory west of the Jordan. This is a necessary condition and it collides with the idea of sovereignty.
It's his clearest rebuttal to date, but both the US and Australia remain committed to a two-state solution.
The conflict in Gaza is going to end. It will end. And at the end of that conflict, someone is going to have to rebuild Gaza. Someone is going to have to govern Gaza.
The path to peace demands a just and enduring two-state solution.
To counter the unrelenting violence that goes on in Gaza, a lot of Israel's allies are holding out for the two-state solution so they can tell their own people, well, at the end of the day, we got a little bit of light at this tunnel, and so we may be able to get out of this.
With the war in Gaza showing no signs of resolution, Netanyahu's boldness is considered a sign he doesn't fear losing the support of his key allies.
What he's done is he made it harder for his friends in America to defend him. In a sense, he's probably damaged himself, but you know, he thinks he's fighting for his life, and he probably is.
So, has Palestine's dream of sovereignty vanished for good, and is peace further away than ever? Kylie Morris is a journalist who's lived in Gaza during her time as correspondent for the BBC. She joins us now. Kylie, Netanyahu has danced around this discussion of a two-state solution in the past. What makes this conflict different? Why has he so explicitly gone against it now?
Well, I think it's important to remember he has opposed this in the past as well. I think only a month ago or so he was boasting about how proud he was that he'd prevented the two-state solution from ever coming into effect. But what's different now, I think, is that he's really standing up against what the US has declared it would like to see. It wants to see a move toward the two-state solution, toward Palestinian statehood. And he made that declaration that from the River Jordan west, it should be all Israeli security-controlled territory. So not only Gaza, but the West Bank as well. He's also saying, Joe Biden has said that he thinks that it's time for Israel to start kind of lowering the temperature, kind of de-escalating the intensity of strikes on Gaza. Another thing that Benjamin Netanyahu said in that speech was that this conflict will run for many months more. So even as it would sound as though the White House is trying to de-escalate this, Benjamin Netanyahu is absolutely travelling in the opposite direction. He is talking about escalation.
If there's no two-state solution, what's left?
Well, I mean, from the perspective of Israel's government, what's left is a security opportunity. So they would think that they could now guarantee their security for their people. They might put settlements back into Gaza and the West Bank. They would certainly look at some kind of a military chokehold, and they would administer and control the Palestinian territories, which raises the question, would they be Palestinian at all? I think critically for the Palestinians, what's the answer to that question? What's left? 25,000 people dead, 85% of the population squeezed and removed from their houses, so many houses destroyed, schools, hospitals, universities. And I think the question is if there's no prospect of a state, if there's nothing to look forward to in the future. I mean, we shouldn't kid ourselves. I don't think many Palestinians were banking on the two-state solution anytime soon, but at least it gave a sense of hope. And Benjamin Netanyahu saying something like this, really, he's trying to push it off the table.
Penny Wong reaffirmed Australia's support for a two-state solution. Joe Biden has done the same. Does this now put Australia and the US in conflict with the Israeli government?
Look, diplomacy, I would say diplomacy is a game of degrees, isn't it? In the sense that I think Penny Wong, you know, she's made some very strong statements on this trip. She's talked to the Palestinian Authority about how important it is that the money that's donated by Australia, the aid money, goes to the people who need it most. She's said the same thing to the UN, and she's also warned the Israeli government about settlements in the West Bank. But perhaps she's had to make a choice between who do we want to be closer friends with, the US or Israel. And in this case, when it comes to two-state solutions, she's chosen to side with Washington. It's important, though, to remember, too, this isn't just the US and Australia. I mean, most of the leading or powerful Western countries, the EU, the UK, have long seen the two-state solution as the only long-term plan for resolving this conflict.
Kylie, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.